is just. These negative things that when we are under stress, and it could be selfish, it could be personal reasons. We don't want to. I mean, but when things happen. One more time. All right. Apparently the system kind of went out on us, so we had to go back in again. We working through this, yes, with the trial and error. But we'll talk this the Dr. Larry Thomas Show, as I already said. We're going to talk a little bit about potential. Okay, I'm going to back up what I talked about before, what I said before. What exactly is potential? Now, potential is that untapped ability that resides within each one of us, but we have to know how to tap into that so that we can operate and function in that space. It's how we see where we are, but we also visualize what it is that we could be as we move forward. What do we see for ourselves in the future ahead of us? You know, potential as it's defined, okay, potential is defined as, and I'm going to read it the way it says right here, right? It is, basically potential is transformational. It's what we see when what's in front of us is not good enough. It's where we don't become complacent with where we are. We want to envision where we could be. That's kind of what our dreams are. You know, our dreams kind of show us what we could be, how we imagine ourselves as being, how we have those dreams of what it is we want to do, what it is we can be, what we can become. Right? As we sit there, you know, there's no desire to stay where we are. It's desire to aspire to more. You know, it's easy to sit down and get complacent, but we have that responsibility to focus ourselves more, and we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to become the best version of ourselves that we could be. Potential is the combination of our skills, is a combination of our environment, all these different factors that can influence us and our potential. But some of those barriers that stand in there could also be our environment. It could also be our lack of self-belief, our esteem. It could be a lot of those things as well. And for me, it's very heartbreaking when I see people that have so much potential, but yet they don't see themselves and they become complacent and don't operate in that space. We've all been there at times, and there, you know, when we're around people that tell us, you know, of things that we could be, people may see things in us that we don't necessarily see in ourselves. And if we don't see it in ourselves, we can easily become frustrated. We can easily become deterred because of all these other factors. But we have to try to change our mindset. Change our mindset to growth, personal and professional growth. And that way we can kind of move forward and flourish into what we are destined to become. It's a journey. It's a process. It's always under construction. We always have to aspire to move forward. We can't just sit down. So let's think of it this way. As I was saying before, I use a lot of similes, metaphors, imagery. So think of it like a flower, right? You plant a seed. Right? That seed is your dream. That seed is your dream of what it is. Now you're planting that dream into the soil. Now that's your mind, that bear into that, right? It's that potential of those possibilities, those talents that we possess. And we all have talents as an individual. You know, we all have our own talents that are personalized to us, right? But some of us don't necessarily recognize those talents up front. Some people don't recognize, unfortunately, is that some people go their whole lives and never recognize the talents that they have. They never identify those talents, and so they never use those talents. But we also have to understand that our talents are not our own. They're not for us. Our talents are no good if we don't share those with the world, because that's what our talents are for. They're for us to cultivate, but it's also for us to try to seek and make the world a better place. So we have to reach down and do that. So now the combination of our is a combination of our we have these things like lack of self-belief, other factors, lack of self-determination or determination, having that determination. The environment, those all play crucial roles in unlocking and maximizing our own individual potential. So now, how do we overcome some of these beliefs? Many of, and I can't remember where I heard it. It's been said that potential is what we see when what's in front of us is not good enough. We want to go beyond what's in front of us and transcend past our current situation. And again, potential does not necessarily mean having growth in money. It doesn't mean having growth in, other material things. It could just be personal growth and being where you are. Because if you maximize your potential and you move in that space, and it sounds cliche, and some may seem unattainable, unrealistic, but money and things like that, those things will come. Those things will come. But it's a matter of just reaching that level of self-actualization. And when you reach that level of self-actualization, that means you are comfortable with yourself, with where you are, but you're also comfortable with your abilities to aspire to more. In a perfect world, this would to those around us to want to excel as well and elevate as well, because iron sharpens iron, and so we are able to sharpen those around us, so we all become sharp and we all become better versions of ourselves. So now we have to overcome one of the biggest barriers is that limiting belief. It's easy for us to sit down and say, this is good as it gets. This is good as it gets. I did that. My own personal experience. There are several times in my life when I reached a certain level and I was like, okay, well, this is it. This is good as it's going to get for me. Not knowing, others that were around me, they saw more that I could do. They saw more that I could give. They saw what I was doing. And some of those people, they provided the water to my seed that allowed me to grow. They poured into my cup. They watered my soil, and gave me those words of encouragement. They gave me words of advice. Some gave me a blueprint how I could get to where it is that I didn't even know I wanted to go there, or that I was destined for. When I reached certain levels, I remember a phone call I had with someone one time, and this individual told me, I told him some of the things I'd done. I saw that in you. I knew that you could get there. All right, is that Tawanda calling back? All right, am I coming in clearer now?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just, I guess it's not nerve wracking, but that the skipping is really nerve.
It's skipping.
Yeah, but
okay.
Like I said, I can hear you though. I can able to. I read a call though. I read a call to type.
I think that some are. With is because I have my audio guy listening to it, and
okay.
he says coming in kind of clear right now, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're clear. You're clear. But like we're talking, and it's still skip. It's not as bad, but it still skip a little bit. So I'd rather call than just type.
Okay. All right.
We can hear you though. I can hear you.
Okay, well that's fine. All right, cool. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish some of this stuff right here. Then call back by all means.
What do you want me to call back?
Well, talking about the potential and stuff like that, and how we can
overcome. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I hear you.
Some of those limiting beliefs that we might have. People in our lives sometimes still have people in our lives, and we still have that voice in us that kind of lead us to where we are and say, hey, this is as good as it gets. But we can't allow ourselves to become content with that. You know,
good topic. I love it. Yeah,
we have those limiting beliefs can hold us back from full potential. You know, and we've all had those instances where we may have sat there and say, hey, this is going to get for me. And, you know, either from influence of others, things like that. We get that encouragement that waters our seed or fire to move forward. You know, now if we let these beliefs stay on us, these limited beliefs stay on us, these things are they're gonna instill fear in you. You know, if we dwell on some of our past failures,
talk about it.
If we and anybody call in 954-240-8928 to overcome these, right? We, you know, one of the main things that hold a lot of us is comparing ourselves to others or societal expectations. Understand that life is life is long. When we're young, we don't really realize it, and we want everything fast. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And we want to move things at a faster pace. And we have to realize not everyone is moving at the same pace that you are. Right?
That's true.
And it's a journey, and it's not a comparison. So like this person, there's certain phases in your life where you do have to move fast, and there's sometimes where life will slow you down because you have to explore the journey. And the reason you explore that journey is so at the end, when you get to the end of that journey, you have a story to tell. And sometimes these people tell you the story that's going to help you to move in your potential. I can think of situations myself where I became content with where I was. And as I look back, I can see as some of those times when I was content with where I was, other individuals who saw something in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself, those individuals departed from me. They departed from me, and you know, and it's nothing against those individuals, rightfully so. Some of them, you know, they let me go. You know what I'm saying? Let me go because, you know, sometimes people will invest in you. People want to invest in you, but if they see sometimes that you're not willing to help yourself, you're not willing to improve yourself and move space and move towards if they're trying to show you, well, some people they don't want to waste their time with that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, we have to also understand that we are not the sum of the failures that we had, and don't allow that to hold you back from getting to where you are. Now, there's a quote at the it's the Black History Monument that's in Alabama, and the gentleman there that I can't think of his name right now, but he said a quote that I thought was very good. So don't let your past failures, those things, don't let those things hold you back from reaching your maximum potential, because you have it within you. You know. Now,
very well said. Very well said.
Y'all don't hear me say this very often. So, Tawanda, go ahead and stand by. All right. You don't hear me say this very often. However, before I go into that, we say that, hey, you know, whatever it is we want to do, you know, we always say you got to put it out there into the universe. We always say, you know, we have to put it into the universe. We have to say what it is you want to do so that we can self-actualize. And someone brought this to my attention. Someone a couple of days ago that fueled my fire and poured into my cup, and he gave me tools to help me get focused. And I'm grateful for that, and I look forward to working with this gentleman. I have a lot to learn. But what he said, what he said to me was this. All right, Bible verse coming in 3, 2, 1. Matthew 7:7.
Oh my God! Okay.
Says, ask and you will receive.
Yeah.
And it says you ask of God and you will receive. Well,
yes, bro.
it's the same, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, you put this out there.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Will receive.
Yes, come on.
And what
Talk
I want
about it.
everybody, as you move to operate in your potential or in that space, you need to speak these words, and you need to put these words out there, because as you put these things there, if you look back, not everybody out there that's listening right now, and again, you can call in. I would love to hear you. 954-240-8928. But look at where you are right now. Look at some of the things that you have achieved. Some of the things you've achieved, some of your successes, the things that you've done. Now, if you look at those things you've done, now look back before those things.
Say so.
You prayed, you asked for these things.
Say so.
You got there.
Say so.
But when you get these things, don't become content, because it's human nature to want more. It's human nature to want more for ourselves. You get a 19-inch color television back in the day, but now you want to get a 32. Then you want to get the big screen. Then you want to get. We commonly want more, but now we also got to understand too. Yeah, you got to put in the work too. And we all are beings that are under construction, and we have to understand that, and we have to be willing to put in the work to get to that. Faith without works is what? Dead. So you have to put in that work, and putting in that work will allow us to self-actualize and move to where we want to be. Someone brought to my attention last week. He didn't say it in so many words. However, he allowed me to reflect. Yes. And he allowed me to reflect, and I realized that in some realms, I probably wasn't putting in as much work as I should be in some of these areas to grow in some areas in which I want to. And because of the input from this individual, I was able, I don't want to say his name out there, but I know he's listening. Okay. But he put that into me, and I realized, there's more that I can do. There's to be what I become. He sees more of me. I met this gentleman for about 5 minutes, but that's all it takes. I spoke to him maybe a month or so ago, and I spoke to him for 5 minutes, and he has reached out to me a couple times, and then me and I spoke for quite a while a few days ago. He said, "I see something in you, and you're going to grow. You're going to," and I told him I accept that. I'm so happy, and I'm gonna. Yes. But I also realized, there's things, and we all do. We all have things we need to get together. Yes. So now, we got to break free from those. Some of ourselves, we point out those people around us. Hey, if I could, if this person hadn't done this to me, I could have done this. Or if that hadn't happened to me, I could. Really, if we really take a closer look at it, it's nobody else fault. You're doing it to yourself. You are self-imposed, because we say somebody did something to us 5-10 years ago. That person moved on with their life, but yet you're still carrying that baggage. And so you got to let that go, so you can unleash your potential and move in that space. And you got to have that mindset, and it is hard because one of the hardest aspects to control a voice that speaks to us within us, and so we have to grab hold of that. Hey, I'm in charge here. I control the voice. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So we have to adopt that. And it starts with self-awareness.
Mm.
You got to be. It starts with self-awareness. You got to know who you are.
Yes.
Know who you are. You got to spend time with yourself. But
Amen.
more important, not just
Amen.
who you are, but you also need to understand
Who
who
you
you
are.
are. And the being to whom you belong is the one that gave you those gifts. And if you don't use those gifts,
Be taken away. You know what?
you're going to lose
Come
it.
on now.
And so you have to do that. You know, you have to challenge the validity of your beliefs. You have to reframe.
Wow.
You have to reframe those negative thoughts.
And it's so true, bro. It is so true. I didn't even know. Like I said, I've been on Facebook for maybe about 3 or 4 weeks trying to, get my mind right, and because I was on it constantly, like toxic. So I said, let me just stay off of it. But I didn't even know this was the discussion that you wanted to talk about this week. And oh my God, all I can say is wow. This is mind-boggling to come back on the show brand new and talk about our potential. How great is that? I was like, oh my God, this is coming right on time. And people need to hear what, exactly what the words you've spoken out your mouth as of right now, and going forth and moving forward in life and our potential. Man, it just, I just froze because, my potential, man, I mean, I've been thinking about this for so long. It's just to grow into something greater in my life, something greater. And I've been like seeking, I love the Lord, and I've been seeking as well. Sometimes we got, we ask and stuff, and it comes damn, like, oh my God, it finally came, and I'm like, Lord, but I mean, it's something.
Now and here okay, here's and y'all know I don't normally do this, but
Come on.
when we talk about potential, we talk about growth mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key to unlocking potential.
Yeah, getting stronger with what you are, yeah.
As it said, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world.
That's right.
You have
That's right.
you have power within you. The thing is, and it was Les Brown that said this. He said, when you look at a cemetery, you see, of course, a lot of people who have been laid to rest.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that at a different mindset. Look at it as a space where you have a lot of people who have lived their whole lives,
Oh my
never
God.
operated in their potential.
This is so.
You have
This
so
is
many people.
so confirmation. Oh my God. I mean, it's like Pastor preached about this today.
What?
I want to cry because Pastor preached about this today, about the graveyard.
Okay.
And what about the empty grave? Oh my. Okay. This is confirmation.
He's looking at my
This
notes.
is confirmation.
He's looking at my notes. Wait a minute.
This is confirmation. I'm in awe. All I can do is listen because I'm in awe that Pastor spoke the same words uttering from your mouth, bro.
What?
The same words coming out your mouth. He spoke about.
I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Okay.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for action. Thank you for this broadcast, Lord. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
It's beliefs that ability can be developed through our dedication and our effort. We dedicate ourselves. We dedicate our lives to our children. We dedicate our lives to our jobs. A good portion of our lives we dedicate to our jobs. We may dedicate our lives to a cause and all these things. But all of these things are good, and all these things are important and in their place. But to operate at your full potential, you also have to dedicate and put effort into yourself. You know, when you operate in that space, operating in your space, it's going to be hard to hang around people who don't. Again,
that's right.
You know, I remember speaking to a friend of mine. Hadn't spoken to him in well over 10 years, right?
Oh my goodness.
And we talked a little bit about he and I in the military together long time ago. And we were, you know, we were friends. We didn't really hang out, but we knew each other. We did hang out every now and then. And we were in the same platoon. And we were talking about he did some time in the military and then he got out. But, you know, I got out, went to school, came back in, got commissioned, all this other stuff. Well,
yeah.
I told him about my journey. I told him, hey, you know, what I achieved in the military stuff. He was like, I knew you were going to do that. He said, I saw that in you way back then because you just carried yourself differently than everybody. And I was
so
like,
true.
And at that time, I did not see that in myself. And even after he and I broke contact earlier in, you know, talking to someone, and and I was at the level where I was, and this person asked me, said, you know, so where do you see yourself in 4 years from now? And I said, I don't know. I said, I'm good right here. I'll just do what I'm doing now, you know, and just go with the flow. When I tell you that person never gave me the time of day, I never so much as got a from that person. I could be in. I would be.
Okay. All right. I gotta share this.
I could walk in the room and that person would act as if I wasn't even there, and I didn't understand it because of the space, or people say, you know, vibration, or however you want to say that, but the space I was operating in, that person was at a different level.
I got
a different level than I was. I was still doing. I was a young person doing young stuff, you know, and my maturity level wasn't there. That person never had any more conversation for me whatsoever. And go right ahead, share.
Okay, I gotta share this.
Anybody else? Feel free to call in. I'd love to hear from you. 954-240-8928. We are broadcasting on Facebook Live, and we're also live on YouTube, y'all. So subscribe to that page on YouTube, Radio Tele-Emergence, 3 words. Like and subscribe to that page. We're trying to grow that. We're actually, I won't even spoil it, but we got some major stuff that all of this is going to change. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm telling you, I wasn't think this stuff it's mind-boggling. Now, I'm going to put it in a way I can put it. Now, okay, so have patience with me. It's also like, you know, okay, how do I say this? Okay, when a guy see me and say he see potential in me. Give me a minute.
His potential.
Wait.
I'm talking about.
Wait. Reading, no, his potential is feelings, but if I hear this coming from a guy, I laugh out loud because I would run real fast, because I would think that now you change who I am.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you know, he see potential in me, meaning, you know, to me, he want to change who I am, who Tawanda is. And I think when somebody says that to you, it can mean, you know, no, this potential word can go so far. go so far.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I want people to say they have, Tawanda, I see so much potential in you. Well, what do you mean by that? Are you trying to change who Tawanda really is?
Well,
you know what I mean?
But here's the thing.
I don't know if you can explain it a little bit better, but
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
What I'm trying to say.
When people say they see potential in you, or as I'm talking about it, they see potential in you. That means they see where you are.
Okay.
But by the way you carry yourself, they see just how much more you can become.
Okay, I didn't think about that way. Okay.
Because again, like one of my friends that the one I've spoken to that several, and we still stay in contact now. But he saw where I was at the same level that he was. We were the same rank. We were kind of on the same even plane.
Right.
But he saw.
But he wasn't trying to change that. He wasn't trying to say, well, this is what Larry going to be and blah, blah, blah. He see what was in you right then.
Yeah.
And then he still feel the same. Because he said, quote, you said, that way back then. Because I seen that in you.
Exactly.
He seen the potential.
Yes, sometimes people can see stuff in us that we don't necessarily see in ourselves. Like how sometimes when you see certain people, and you see this person is a worker alongside you, but you see the way this person carries you. This person is management material. This person could be a supervisor. This person is structured. This person organized. This person does this, does that. You see what they become, but when you see this person, you see this person could be a supervisor, but this person is doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing.
Say so.
That could hinder advertising from doing that. And
say so.
My friend saw that I wasn't, and we see it in other people too.
Yep.
We see that okay, we see how you moving right now.
Yeah.
We know, even though you don't see it, even though you but we know that if you keep moving the way you are, you're on a path. Is going to, but sometimes we don't necessarily see it at the time.
And why is that?
Well, the reason we don't see it is a lot of different factors in that. It's a lot of different factors, right? And what I mean by that, self-belief, or our environment.
Okay.
Those people around us
that
tell us these things.
Yes.
And those voices that speak to us that tell us.
Okay.
Those people that speak to us and that they told us something when we were younger.
Yes.
Early in our lives that you're never going to do that. You're never going to do that. You're never going to do that. And when we hit a stumble, we hit a challenge, a barrier, that voice comes back saying, see, I told you. And we listen to that voice rather than listen to our own voice saying, I want to do it and I'm going to make it happen.
Okay.
We allow these things to deter us from doing that. I got a call coming in. Hold on. Okay, who I got on the line here?
Hey, good evening, Dr. Thomas. This is Kevin L. Manning. It's good to be with you.
Hey, Kevin L. Manning. Is it okay if I give you a shout out? Ladies and gentlemen, this is that fueled my fire the past couple of days.
God bless you.
This is the man that is kind of put me in focus and helped me to kind of realize that there was that I need to operate in a greater space, and I needed that. I needed that at that point in time. What's going on, Kevin? I love
Oh, sure. Well, love the topic you're discussing. I think for the benefit of your listening audience, just a bit about my background. I'm a subject matter expert in self-actualization and transcendence, and I help these groups and individuals translate their intangible aims, goals, and objectives into its physical equivalent of existence. So, your subject tonight, it truly resonates with me, Dr. Thomas.
I'm telling you, I believe you too, Kevin. It is couldn't be a better time that I can hear this subject tonight. But before you jump in, just want to ask Larry one question. So do you think potential means you give your energy or ability?
Unpack that. What do you mean?
I mean, energy.
Okay. Well, if you're talking about where you direct your energy, if you're talking about where you direct your energy, yes. If you direct your energy in a negative space, you are creating a barrier for you to operate in your own potential. And I'm gonna relate to the expert here. Is that correct, Kevin? Or what is your?
Yeah, Kevin.
Well, yes. Before Dr. Thomas, is this interjecting? Is this your co-host or?
High school buddy.
She's a regular caller that calls in. She's a continuous caller. I don't really get.
Okay, I understand. Well, in order for me to give you a concise answer, candidly, I could do about the incessant.
Okay.
So if we can have a streamlined communication process where I can communicate, I think it would make for a higher caliber and better quality call for you and your listening audience.
Okay, sure. Go right ahead. All means.
So I'll start with this. In what you said, just to circle back to the definition you gave, Ms. Jones, that is precisely correct. Yes, and I would only add, Dr. Thomas, that who we are is really what we do for others, and I'll expand on that. For example, your name, Larry. Okay, Larry is a derivative of Lawrence, which is an Anglicized version of French's Laurent. Okay?
Okay.
Now, when I say that who we are is what we do for others, in ancient Rome and Greece, a Laurent tree signified great significance. People who were wearing a laurel wreath, for example, represented victory and achievement in a sport or competition. So the etymology of your name, Larry, directly correlates to massive achievement, victory. It's indigenous to spiritual leadership as well.
Amen.
Hold on a second. Let me finish. Go ahead.
Larry, so there's no surprise. There should be no surprise to anyone that who you are, what you do, and why your audience members need to care directly correlates with a life of service, contribution, and prolific success in the military. Okay, having gotten to know you, for those listening in, you've had a stellar military career, and that transcended into the civilian sector. And here you are. Look at what you're doing now. You're a highly sought after subject matter expert and speaker to be author. Okay.
Yes.
So prolific and consistent.
Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
That success is is uniformly consistent with who you are. And just to extend on that point, I'll prove it to your audience's satisfaction right now. We are what we do for others. Okay. Let's do this. Let's engage in an exercise right now. Dr. Thomas, can you share with me and your listening audience name 3 things that you can immediately see within the field of vision right now? In front of you, behind you, above you, below you. Just name 3 things real quick what you can see right now.
Realistically, what I can see, of course, I can see the camera, I can see the mic, I can see my phone.
Okay, camera, mic, and phone. Now, Dr. Thomas, other than ownership, what do those 3 things have in common?
Equipment, technology.
Audio, visual equipment, technology. Okay. Now, would you also agree with me that those 3 inanimate objects, you were able to effortlessly identify by what they do or their function?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Now, you call individual thing by its what? Name. Mic, okay, phone, etc. Okay. Now, what these 3 objects also have in common, Dr. Thomas, is that these are 3 objects that do not breathe like you and me. So how much more so for you and I that also have a name, we also have a function. And function is synonymous with what? Purpose.
Yes.
Okay? That we were all born on purpose, by purpose, for a target-specific purpose. Okay? We're not here by chance. Okay? There's over 10 billion sperm cells that went their way and found their way. One of them was victorious. Okay?
Yes.
Out of all of those sperm cells, one found its way to penetrate that ovum of ours and fertilize the egg. Okay? That wasn't random. That was target specific victory in euro. Okay? So from a physiological standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, that directly correlates to our purpose here. Okay? We're not born by chance. Okay? We're born on purpose. Okay? We serve that purpose through combination of our innate abilities, okay, and our natural leanings.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy
Kevin, continue.
So, Dr. Thomas, I just want to encourage your audience that sometimes in life we get bumped off course. The number 1 factor that prevents and inhibits people from maximizing their human potential are what? Distractions.
Distractions, yes.
Distractions is the number 1 factor to bump you off course from maximizing. This is what I want to do, okay? I'm going to provide your listening audience with a definitive plan of action moving forward towards actualizing and maximizing their human potential, okay? First of all, in order to become who you never were, you have to literally be who you never were, okay?
Yes.
So, have you never got up at 4:30 in the morning to start your day? No? Then you need to start doing it. Allow time for reflection, contemplation. Why? Because
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead, Kevin. This was the phone here. Go ahead.
so you need to allow time for it. You have to get up early in the morning. This is critically necessary, and it's vitally important that you rise sooner than later. And you only have to look at nature, and you can see this reflected in nature. Here that the early gets the
The worm.
Worm.
Absolutely.
And the worm is their daily sustenance. It's their surviving. It's their food. It's how they eat. Okay? If they get up an hour later than the other birds then ate all the worms.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay? Now, in Africa, we heard this every morning. Every morning, a lion wakes up and he knows he's got to be faster than the slave gazelle.
Yep.
And that gazelle, he knows that he's got to be faster than that lion.
Yep.
Okay? So that's going to give that and all those other prey animals a distinct advantage over all of the predators out there. Rising up early because that teaches them. Okay. Now, on that note, this is another thing that, ironically, inhibits people from maximizing their potential. Dr. Thomas, is they're stuck in what we call survival mode. They're stuck in survival mode. What is that? That is exchanging your time for money to pay bills with while you wait to die, and not work on maximizing yourself through self-development, personal development.
Yep.
See, oftentimes, secondary to inefficient socioeconomic disadvantages, our people not really restricted to only our people, but I'll say for most people, they're stuck in a vicious cycle of hyper-focusing on just surviving, okay, with the basics, okay, and that's the start of self-actualization. As you know, Dr. Thomas, if you're familiar with Dr. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of human needs,
Yes.
okay, what's at the base of that pyramid is surviving, food, shelter. Man, that's the basic. That's no more than what you ought to do as a human being if you want to live. Surely you have to drink water and eat food, and you need a roof over your head. And then the next thing is security.
Yes.
Okay, and then as you ascend up the pyramid, is things like acceptance, social acceptance, and then you keep ascending up that pyramid, the hierarchy of human needs, and you find self-gratification. Yeah, at the apex, at the top of the pyramid is self-actualization. But before you get there,
hold 1 second, Kevin. Hold 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, for you listeners, as we're talking about Maslow hierarchy of needs, we're talking about it's basically 4 levels. You have your basic needs, you have your needs, you have your social needs, and then you have that self-actualization. So and you all can look that up online. It's a pyramid, has these 4 sections in there. I just want to give them a better understanding where they can find this. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, yes. Thank you for doing that. Thank you. So, Dr. Thomas, just to circle back to that ascension, for a lot of people, that ascension is immediately interrupted. Why? Because they're stuck and they're hyper-focused in survival mode.